Good job, buddy. P1 right there.
Good job, buddy, and everybody else. It is the No Toad Racing Network. One more time, the Final Four. We're at Atlanta, which is now Legacy Atlanta, I guess, Motor Speedway. We've got 132 laps. We've got old slippy, slidey, good Atlanta. We've got the ARCA cars that are cranky, and we've got Sexy Waltrip sitting here. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Oh, you know, fat and sassy, doing the thing. Do our normal kickoff, go through the points, and it is still Roy Hyde's world, and we're all just trying to live in it. He's got a 21-point lead over Oliver Tran in second. That's a scant 6 points back to Jason Benson, who's only got 1 point over Al Corey, he's racing under stormy conditions, and I mean that quite literally. He's part of the group that's getting hammered with storms, so that'll be something to watch if he can manage to get in here and keep a connection, because you know how it is, a power blip or something like that, and race over. Dustin Barton, one of the Canadians of the group, is coming up fifth, just a handful of points over Nodge, who has his own viewers and doesn't need us. Crutchley, who is tied with Robert Hottenbach at 284 each. Sid Kashishian is sitting there in eighth, and just through some scoring stuff, trying that. It showed him up again in 20th down there, those of you who are reading ahead of the class. That's both of his names. He goes by two, so we can spread hate evenly over both names. We've got Michael Corvu, Joe David, round out top 10. Nick Biddy's not too far out. Johnny Brugg won't be with us tonight racing. He was in 12th, 1 point behind there. Chris Harrison in 13th. John Burton Barton. Where'd I go, Burton? Barton, 14th. James Lawson from 15th. Josh Kerner, Matt Pirosini, Tyler Merritt, and Kenny Sutherland rounding out the points. So you've got some info for us here, Kyle. What have you learned during practice?
Yeah, so last night we had our Xfinity race, same track, different cars running the Xfinity series. We are looking at a 40 to 42 lap run here on fuel. You could probably stretch it a little bit further than that, but we are running 132 laps. So if you want to make it to the end here, you're going to want to get to about 44 to 45 laps to be able to cut out a pit stop. If you pit within your fuel window and you don't cut out that extra stop, you're going to use every set of tires that you have. So tire conservation and tire strategy here is going to be majorly important to make sure you have a set of tires available to you if you're going to try to play the risky game here of making sure you have an extra set left for that late race caution, or maybe you have confidence that we're not going to have that, and you just use up those sets thinking that we're going to go straight here to the end of the race.
Yeah, and the ARCA cars have shown up, or, well, not necessarily always shown up, but it seems like whatever the Xfinity cars do, the ARCA cars go the opposite way. And we ran, I believe, well, I mean, the initial start had a missed shift and, some stuff go on there. But after that, it was caution-free throughout the race. So this one may be ugly, or it may be another caution-free one. This many laps, and looking here at the weather, it's 88 degrees, got some crosswind. Track temp's 120, so that's getting up there, and Atlanta's slick enough as it is without being hot.
Yeah, that track temperature, that is something I didn't notice. That is going to be a major contributing factor. We're going to probably see a lot of comers and goers here. I would most likely bet if we see someone kind of stretch out to an early lead that they're going to come right back to the field, and we're going to see them drop positions heavily as tire management really is going to be a thing here with a tight field, as we see from the top 5 drivers here all running 31.7s. So we are going to have a real competitive race here on time. It's just going to be who can conserve the tires the best.
Right now we are showing 15 cars have taken a lap. Corvu is here and showing that he's here anyway on pit road, but has not gone out and turned a lap, which that's that's kind of odd. They got 30 seconds to go, and yeah, I mean, you wad one up in practice. You just get one out of the old digital hauler, and off you go. We're
Yeah, I'm seeing him. He's at least gotten into the car, so he's sitting there on pit road. He's not going to have enough time to get out and do a lap here, but it looks like he should be able to show up for the race as he starts to roll a little bit.
Yep, just in time for the session to end. So Kreidler's going to be fastest in practice. Corey, Barton, Kashishian, Oliver, Tran there that we're riding with. Roy Hyde, Benson, Piracini, Hottenbach, Harrison, Crutchley, David, Will Jester, Ben Dewberry, who's new to the No Toad Racing League, Kenny Sutherland, and Koravu be the last of the group there. Let's see if we can get this switched over and see if we can follow along with. Guess we're gonna take a look at Ollie here and so we switch around for qualifying. And like I said, just trying to keep the March over referencing for basketball going. This is the final four. We got 4 races to go this season, so time's a ticking. If Ollie wants to take out Roy, figuratively, he really this is the first of his 4 chances where he's gonna have to make up points. But Roy has been just. I mean, you just can't seem to get him out of the top 10 or even the top 5. I mean, it's hard to make up points on somebody who's just constantly finishing at the front half of the field.
Yeah, well, he's not had a strong last 2 races. He had a decent result last weekend, with our late race restart we had. And then the week before got caught out with some iRacing tomfoolery with kind of getting stuck behind all the waiver rounds. But yeah, I mean, I think the major thing here today is just kind of getting a good solid race in, regardless of where the other guy finishes, because next weekend we're going to be going to Daytona, and anything can happen there. You can be, second place coming across the start-finish line there, get spun, and then all of a sudden you finish way back in the back of the field. So I just think, we'll know where we sit when we get to Richmond in 2 weeks more affirmatively, but I think right now it's just sort of get what you can take and maybe build a gap if you're Roy Hyde. But yeah, just it's not over yet, and we don't necessarily know kind of what the storyline is going to be going into to Richmond and the finale at Homestead.
Right, and Homestead is, man, it's definitely a top 5 track, especially for these ARCA cars. They're everywhere. It's multi-groove. It's Atlanta without that double dog leg to make it the quad oval. Richmond, hard on the right front. Daytona, I mean that is pretty much throw all your dice in a hat and throw it as far in the air as you can and see what lands where. I mean that's pretty well what you're doing there with plate tracks, but that's part of the allure. That's why the Atlanta Motor Speedway got repaved, and we saw whatever exactly it was we saw over the last weekend. Not really trying to pass judgment. It was something. I'm still not sure what exactly it was I saw.
It was worse than the IndyCar race at Texas in my book.
I don't know. I mean, if the track was wider, honestly, I think that probably would help. But I don't know. I would have been happier if it was like 350 miles and they wouldn't have changed it. But whatever. I'm not NASCAR. So we have somehow just locked onto Oliver Turan, and it decided that we were done watching qualifying with him. He ran around here and put up his lap, and wait for everybody to come up here, and we'll get the grid information up. But it's more of the same old story. And going talking with no green or no yellows. Just if everybody is familiar with the I rating and the safety rating. Roy Hyde, John Kreidler are both 4.99s for the safety rating. their I ratings are over 3,300. Kreidler's over 33, Hyde's over 37. We've got Ben Dewberry, the latest entry. He is a 4.74 safety. Then we've got Kenny Sutherland with a 4.37. There's 5-6 people in the mid threes. Overall, No Toad Racing is a pretty safe group of drivers. So a lot of people with high safety ratings generally don't screw up and hit each other, and that gives you long green flag runs. And that is what the Atlanta Motor Speedway was built on. This is one of them kind of the old school 500 mile. You manage your tires, you manage your fuel, you try to out strategize everybody, and I think that's what that's what really got me about what we got this week. It was just weird. So more of the same. Roy Hyde sitting on the pole with 31,730, and in Discord I had said that we were going to be at 31,669, I believe. So that was a 7/10 off. John Kreidler just a hair behind. Matt Piracini's in third. Oliver Tran's in fourth. Rafter Al Corey starting in fifth. Sid is going to start sixth. Jason Benson, old sticky fingers, starting seventh. Dustin Barton, don't call me Burton, is in eighth. Apparently the dogs are real happy about that. The Nodge, the guy with his own fan base, is starting ninth. Will Jester going to be taking it up in 10th. Chris Harrison in 11th. Rob Hottenbach starting 12th. Mike Coravu starting up in 13th. Ben Dewberry, Joseph David, and Kenny Sutherland has shown that he is starting shotgun on the field.
Seems like we got a bad dog in the booth.
We've got all kinds of bad dog in the booth. Luckily for some of us, I can mute the mic and do nothing other than yell at him in Kyle's ear. So you guys all just missed that.
Oh, hopefully there's a keybind we can do so I don't hear that either, because that was jarring.
Well, the funny thing with that is we're gonna do this, and Cooper's gonna go silent for a second.
Yep, heard that pop.
And you guys didn't hear that pop. So I've got a switch. I just didn't throw it because I kind of forget that Kyle's not in the room with me sometimes. So I had an old people moment. Sorry about that, Kyle.
Oh, you're all good. I'd like to give a shout out here. We've got a ATC Fun Family Show in the YouTube chat. Looks like it is the son, or not son, the offspring of Coravu. So we got a Coravu Jr. here in the chat.
Oh, we sure do.
I say son. There's no distinction of if it's a daughter. If it's a daughter, it's, doesn't matter.
I think it is his daughter, and I believe that she helps pick out paint schemes.
That's the word I was looking for. The child of Coravu.
Coravu's child. Oh, son. Man. Here we are. We got double-digit viewers, and we're insulting them. Well, I am.
Said, yep, son. There you go.
Yep. Well, I am sorry, son. Okay, so let's roll up here. We'll get on the leader camera and we'll get these cars rolling around.
So I'd like to bring up, we've got Kreidler out here. Kreidler has not made many starts this year. I think he is on his first start. Yeah, he's his second start this year in the ARCA series. So watch for him tonight. Really good driver. Was very, very competitive last night in the Xfinity series, and even last weekend he was a competitor. So he's someone that we should keep our eye on.
The green flag is out. We got, stop me if you've heard this before, Roy Hyde taking off into the lead and gaining some spots, gaining some space, buying himself a quarter of a second over now who Matt Piracini has taken second, and Rafters followed him into third. Kreidler got shuffled back to fourth, and that maybe just the power of the low line early on while everybody's got fresh tires.
Yeah, when you get out front here at Atlanta, it is not worth it to just go out there and dominate. You need to just do what you can out front to just stay in front of that guy and not just obliterate the field. So I wouldn't expect to see Roy Hyde come out to an extensive lead here, and if he does, potentially we could see him fall back all the way into the clutches. As Oliver Turn gets into the back end of Al Corey there.
Yep, sent Rafter into the wall. Got him a little bounce off the wall there. We'll have to watch and see how that's gonna play out. Look back at Rafter here off the tail end of Ollie's car.
Yeah, it looks like Al was getting a little loose off the corner there, and Oliver looked like he was just trying to go on the outside one there, and then Al came up, and Oliver kind of hesitated and hit him in the rear bumper. So it was an unfortunate incident there, but hopefully they're both okay.
Yeah, seem to be rolling along, and of course, yeah, you get the Slurmmobile there. Dustin Barton keeps making that Slurmmobile look better and better every week.
Well, he came out with the Slurm car at when we raced a couple weeks ago, and he won in it. So he's been trying to find another Slurm scheme that can get him the win he wants, because that's probably the best one I've seen so far. That purple and blue Slurm scheme is definitely my favorite I've seen.
Yeah, I really like that. I know he's asked a couple things about painting, so I'm thinking that this may be a him. Oh, he's got the rocket on the side of it too. I like it. I definitely like it. And we know how I am. I'm a paint scheme nerd, and that's just something that I am. So, getting Will Jester going around on the outside of Rob Hottenbach, who decided, you know what, I'm going to fight back here. There's NWO way, you're passing me right now. That was terrible. I know. I'm sorry. We're watching Rafter go around. Looks like he's still doing his thing. All right, special request. We're going to kind of work our way through here, but does anybody watching on YouTube recognize this guy? Would be the 77 of Mike Corriveau.
Yeah, chilling there right behind the Slurmmobile, Dustin Barton. Remember, we've got a three-way tie for the most wins on the season between Brugg, Barton, and Oliver Turn. It'd be interesting to see if we could potentially see someone eclipse that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably unlikely, but there's really nothing saying that somebody can't get on a hot streak and pop out 3 or 4 wins. Daytona being the exception to that, but and it could be Roy, it could be Piracini. There's a bunch of people it could be, but we could just see somebody just dominate, and they can win a plate track too, but it's just one of those oddities of life. And as Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. And we can sit here and do this on paper all we want, but it isn't going to change anything. That's why we need to get out here and do it.
Yeah, we could sit here tonight with 4 people tied for the most wins in the season. With if Roy goes out and wins this race. He only has 1 win on the season. He's a championship leader, so he's not had a bad season per se, but he has, only had that 1 victory. Him winning a race here, I don't think we've seen that kind of competitiveness out of the field in NTRL, at least since I've been a part of it. We've always had kind of those 1 or 2 people that come out every week and kind of kill everybody. But just a cool win pool here.
Yep, if I don't have my numbers backwards, we've had 8 winners in the ARCA series this season, and we've had 7 winners in Xfinity. So, I mean, overall, top to bottom, the different tracks suit different drivers, and, different winners. And, we don't just have, like last season, it was the Skylar Carnes show. And, before that, it was the Johnny Brugg hour. They're just whooping up on us every chance they got.
Yeah, 7 wins on the season here. 7 different winners, on the season here for the ARCA series.
Okay, so maybe it was 8, but yeah, I knew I had them right there. But yeah, that's pretty tough to do. All things considered. We got Sid to the inside of Rafter here, and then we've got Chris Harrison right behind him to complete the 4-pack. Little sticky fingers on the outside of Chris, rolling around through 2. 2, and do we jinx it and tell them how slick turn 2 is, or do we just keep that under our hat?
I mean, we can just say it's slick and just not name any one specific person when we're talking about it.
That works. We're going to kind of fixate here on Rafter, Benson, Corriveau, and Harrison, because that's really the best battle on the track. And well, here comes Dustin Barton. He's coming up on there. But they, this is what makes Atlanta so good. I mean, realistically, Benson's in the third lane, so we've got 3 wide. Benson's cutting down to really, and he could have went in and taken that down and went 3 wide down the back stretch. But I mean, we're 12 laps in. I mean, you got 3 pit stops you're going to be making. There's not any real point other than just seeing if you can pull that move off later. But you know, Rafter's up, dusting the top of the track off. Benson's painting the stripe. I mean, this just, if you don't like Atlanta, you don't have any need to be racing on ovals.
Yeah, Atlanta, I think, is the track for ARCA when it comes to official stuff. This is the track I probably race the most in official, where I think it kind of hits every single mark that you have with when it comes to car control, learning how to. Ooh, as Corriveau kind of pushes up there, we're going to have a 3 wide thing here coming off of turn 4.
We're making it work.
Yeah, but going back to my point is this track just hits every single one of those aspects, and you have 3 different lanes here that you can choose, and you can run, and you can still, you know, keep the tires underneath you and be at speed throughout this run. So those official ARCA races, I think, are what teaches you the most when it comes to running these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a place that it's car control. I mean, if you can control one here, you can control one just about anywhere. We got Corriveau rolling around Rafter, and now we're 15 laps in. Tires are starting to wear. That little brush against the wall is probably starting to work on Rafter a little bit. Just that little bit of lost downforce, and it's, probably making the car a little crabby. So running high to compensate for that. And I mean, Rafter of all people is not going to push the car if it isn't right. So he's going to go ahead and give up a couple spots, but live to fight another lap.
Yeah, and maybe it's not even that. That's the problem here. He could just potentially have a fuel number he's trying to hit, or he's trying to keep his tires underneath of him here. Because if we see kind of later in the run here, him kind of coming back at the field and all these guys that have passed him in these beginning laps of this run, that means he just did a really, really good job here of saving his tires.
There was a moment there with Corriveau and Dustin Barton. We come back down on there. Barton was, just kind of wildly waving around. I'm not sure if he got loose and gave Dustin that spot, or Corriveau come down and about got Dustin. Dustin reacted and went back down underneath. So yeah, that was close.
Yeah, just Dustin got loose underneath Benson, and then Corriveau got to the outside, and Corriveau also got loose off the corner. He kind of started coming down, and Dustin kind of swerved to the left in sort of a reactionary way to Corriveau's move.
Yep, I had kind of missed that. Go back through there. Which is, speaking of Corriveau there one more time, he is up 5 positions over the start. Somebody else has gained 5, and he's right there in that Coors car. Mr. Chris Harrison in the 83 Coors car, up 5 positions. He's running in 6th right now, just quietly putting in laps and holding that Stay Puft Mobile back, who didn't get to run yesterday, which really sucks. He sponsored the Xfinity race yesterday, the Stay Puft race, and I'm sure that he is going to do everything possible to come out here and put a hurting on everybody just to make up, vengeance for missing his own race. But meanwhile, while Benson has his plot for everybody's demise, Harrison is up 5 positions and doing quite well for himself early in the race.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers you're seeing kind of move through the field. I'd be slightly worried here, especially if you're kind of blowing through the field here, as if you're not wearing out those tires too quickly. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of comers and goers. So we're seeing some comers, this early, and the thing is are they going to be falling back through the pack just wildly loose, just with either the right rear worn off or pushing into the corner with their right rears destroyed or right fronts destroyed. That's just that thing you got to watch out for here is you got to focus on the entirety of the run. So that might mean giving up a couple of those spots early off in the run.
Yep, we got the next batch, his caught rafter. We got Joseph David.
We got a car in the grass.
Jester. Yep. Just caught Jester. Decided to do some high-speed lawn mowing. The Nodge goes by.
Yeah, it looks like Jester is trying to pit there.
That is possible. Doesn't appear to have any sort of damage. Let's do the old rear chase and see if the right side looks good. Back looks good.
Car looks clean. It just was one of those situations where he kind of potentially got on the apron at a awkward time and just kind of got loose and wasn't able to get down on the apron completely to get on pit road for whatever reason he needed to pit.
Yeah, I don't see any damage at all. So we'll just start at the back here and kind of roll through. Jester's running shotgun on the field here. Then we're going to pop up here and see the Nodge. The Nodge Dodge. Well, how have I not come up with that yet? Anyway, the Nodge Dodge with some Scooby-Doo. I will save you the Zoink Scoob I was about to do.
They call it the Nodge, the N-O-D-G-E.
That actually works great. We're going to have Vincent did the paint work there on that. So, yeah, we're going to have that done. The Nodge, that's good. Our new guy, fresh meat, Ben Dewberry, is matriculating around the field here. He's gained a spot. He's running lucky 13th. And he is right behind Joseph David, the Irwin Tools. That was that Jamie McMurray scheme. I think we decided that, or I decided it. I don't know. It's hard telling. I make things up a lot. He's running in here behind Al Corey, who's down 6 spots. Of course, real early, a little scrub of the wall. And in case you guys have somehow not heard me say this, these cars are real cranky. And you touch the wall in them, and they get even crankier. So that little brush is no doubt affecting him. They get that straightened out with some pit stops. Up into 10th here, we've got Jason Benson, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Mobile. And running right behind Rob Hottenbach in the NWO, which I think that's something to do with, like, not waffles, omelets. I don't know, something like that is what that meant. He was fighting right now with Dustin Barton in the Slurm Soda Mobile, made famous by Fry and Bender from Futurama. We're just gonna keep this up here, guys. So hop on here and get a look. It's got some Sitco on the waffles and omelets mobile of Rob Hottenbach. And we'll go back here, and we're gonna be able to keep an eye on both of them. I figured this camera's gonna be. Oh, Dustin just decided to kiss the wall. Thought this would be far handier for super speedways, but it's working out in Atlanta too.
Yeah, this track is very funny. You try to get that wide entrance into the corner with these cars, and you got that little bit of that right rear that sticks out here. And unfortunately, I think in my first ever pole in the ARCA series, when I was a D-class driver, I was so busy looking in my rear, admiring how good of a start I had, that I went off into turn 1 and I clipped the wall and dragged myself around the whole corner because I was too busy looking in that mirror. So yeah, it's kind of easy to do here, just kind of getting too greedy with the space you have left. But rewinding back here to Al Corey talking about the positions he dropped, it could be damage. I don't think so. I do see a little bit of right rear quarter panel damage and a little bit of damage to the right behind the right front wheel where the kind of fender's a little bit pushed in. But I think he might be trying to save some fuel here, because if you're able to push that run to about 44 laps, you can pit every 44 laps, or pit, 44.88, and then make it to the end of the race. Yeah, that might put you in a good position here to kind of cut out that stop. So I'd keep an eye on Al Corey here to see if he's doing that exact strategy I said, or if he is really hurting here from the damage.
Yeah, and it very well can be 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's really hard telling because he is so good. Oh, Dustin really backed out awful far there with Benson.
Yeah, it kind of went a little too wide there through the quad oval, and just, you know, there's only so much angle of attack you can give into that wheel before you start just, that steering wheel just doesn't give you any extra grip there. So, yeah, it's just, you got to kind of get your car at that certain line going through the quad oval to make sure you're not wide and push into that wall there.
We're going to finish that little scroll through. We got Mike Corvu up 6 spots, running in 7th. He's having a real good start to the race. We're going to be closing in on first round of pit stops here pretty quick. And we go back through Harrison, still running in 6th. Boo Sid, that is his official name. He's gained a spot. He is running 5th. We got John Kreidler, who is still unsponsored. The guy's fast, man. Somebody ought to sponsor this dude. He's running 4th, right behind our booth buddy Oliver Turan, who say if we want to pretend like we're just watching his Twitch stream, this is what we'd be looking at. We wouldn't have this, and I don't think we'll have this. We're not going to have this, but there, if you're looking at this, now you know what you're looking at if you're watching Ollie. But you're probably getting able to hear what he's saying instead of me blabbering the whole time. But anyway, we have got Ollie in 3rd. We have got Roy Hyde circulating around in 2nd, following the new leader. That while we were watching a 4-car battle, Matt Piracini has snuck himself up into the lead, and we've got takers on pit road. Corvu is on the pit lane.
You got Al Corey on the pits here, so
Yep, Corey.
He might have an issue here. Might be why he's pitting. Is he going to take that fast repair? Looks potentially like he did. Yeah, he took that fast repair, so that damage was definitely what was slowing him down there. So he just committed early to pitting and taking all 3 stops that he's going to make throughout the race here. Just kind of gain the time back on that undercut. So early commitment here. I think that's the way to go. Hopefully he can, make it here to the end and kind of have a competitive recovery.
Jester is also in.
Yes, this is where things get interesting. You have people committing here thinking that we're not going to have any cautions throughout the race. So their moves might work out here to where they can gain a bunch of time early and then be in front of the leaders, get those extra laps led, then fall back into the leaders and then pit again. And then hopefully at the end of the race, they're sitting all pretty. As we see Roy Hyde's on pit road as well.
Yep.
It's just that commitment. It's just if someone else goes on the other strategy and there's a caution, they might be sitting here in real deep water with our 3 sets of tires, because if we come to the end of the race and you don't have any tire sets left, you're done. Anybody who has fresh tires is going to absolutely kill you on a restart.
Yep, absolutely. That's the old cheese grater Atlanta. I mean, you've got to be on the wheel, but you've got to be off the wheel a little bit at the same time, because the tires don't regenerate. Once they're shredded, they're shredded. But we are going to have almost mass chaos here for a little bit. While we've got fast new tires, we've got old, just worn out, hot, miserable tires.
Roy Hyde had a problem. He got loose coming off the corner there at some point a couple laps ago, and then just disappeared. So he had a connection issue.
Boy.
He's sitting a lap down currently.
12th position, 13th position. And he's got, he's got Harrison, Kashishian, Kreidler, Turan, and Piracini all in front of him. So, yeah, he is a lap down right now. This, as they say, could change everything. You see how he's blowing by. Go ahead, Kyle.
Oliver Turan, he's sitting 2nd in points here. This might be a really good race here if he can stretch this fuel out, make it to that window to make it to the end of the race here.
For what we've got, I'm showing Hyde, Corey, and Jester all as being a lap down.
Yeah, Royd was pretty far ahead. He had some sort of connection issue. I don't know if it's affected him negatively when it comes to his position on track, but he did pit after he got super loose coming off the corners, so I don't know exactly what happened there.
Well, there comes Sid. He's on pit road with Dustin Barton, which isn't all that odd for that for this group. Yeah, I mean we do a lot of strategery together. We've definitely got takers. We're getting it on 38, and didn't. What was you saying? You thought it was 46 if you were really max fuel saving?
Yeah, so we're looking at about 40 laps here on fuel. Kind of not doing too much to save. You're going to have some natural fuel saving with the tires getting low. But, yeah, 40 to 42 laps. You can make, you can save a couple laps here. But if you can stretch out to 44, that is an even race to the end. So you can make this on a two-stopper here to where you cut out that third pit stop. But you're going to lose a lot of time on track. But hopefully you save that set of tires so you can just rally here and, you know, have that track position in those fresh set of tires if a caution comes out at the end of the race.
We've got several more. We've got Harrison, Kreidler, Hottenbach, Denaj, Benson, Koravu, all, well, those four are leaving pit road. Harrison, David's coming in now. So we're pretty close to everybody cycling around.
Yeah, Pericini said he's pitting in this time.
Yep. And there he is showing he's heading in. Harrison.
So Oliver turns to the lead.
And so how much saving is Oliver doing? We look across the scoreboard there that there is a lot of negative ones. So if you know, somebody has an issue and doesn't do it right, we've got a wholly different animal here, because Piercini's roughly a half lap down. Hyde is all but lapped. As you can see there, he's just passing the line. Oliver is coming in, so this will bring everybody back around on the lead lap. So that's decent. So
just to put in perspective how important fresh tires are here, Pericini on the second lap of the race did a 32.0 lap, whereas right before he pitted, he did a 34.1. So that is a 2.1 second fall off over the run.
That is a massive drop. But also, that's what you always hear race car drivers saying. Give us tire fall off. Get them hot and greasy and slick, and we've got to be able to manage tires, and we've got to be able to manage a loose car and a foul car, and, you know, a car that doesn't want to turn. And I mean, this is kind of the epitome of what everybody asks for. Give us some control in what's going on.
Yeah, because you get that handling that comes into effect. You get the strategy of the different tires. You know, when you can pit, you know, that's one of the things that's been a positive with the next-gen cars. We've seen a lot of fall-off at tracks where you're not really used to it. Outside of, you know, the super speedways, you know, now that we have 3 of them, apparently.
2.5.
Yeah, well, we got technically 6 super speedway races.
Well, that's, yeah, true enough. True enough. We're watching the Marshmallow Mobile doing some laps. The
So we're sitting here kind of in an interesting position where we have Roy Hyde out front. Roy Hyde pitted a lot earlier compared to Pericini, and you're going to see him. He's got a 9-second lead over Pericini, but Pericini, let's just see what the gap is between the two of them this lap. Just how much time he's been able to gain over this lap with the amount of fall off that we've seen. So 9 seconds the previous lap behind, and then come to the line, Pericini is 9.2 seconds. So might have had a sort of issue there, but yeah, Pericini should be closing in here.
Well, and also Pericini's got Kreidler very close by, lurking in his mirror with those neon green stripes, just letting the flames know, I am here, and I may bump you. I'm sure that's not what he's saying, but maybe a whole lot cooler if he was.
Yeah, Parasini here is on a 2-lap fresher tires than Kreidler, so I'm surprised to see Kreidler being able to sit as close as he is with Parasini here. So,
Well, it's Atlanta. They're drafting now.
well, it's the old one.
Oh, yeah. Through that cycle, while we're looking through there, Raptor's back up to 4th.
Yeah, that early pit stop getting that undercut. Hopefully here at the end of the run we don't see him kind of plummet through the field here. But yeah, if you're gonna put your eggs into a stable basket when it comes to a long green flag race without any tomfoolery, I'd put it in the basket of Corey, because Corey can save tires and save fuel. So.
Yep, absolutely. And he's shook out here where we've got Sid running in 5th now. Oliver cycled back around into 6th. Rob Hottenbach is in 7th. I wonder if that's that picture on there. I wonder if that's how he's driving. I wonder if he has one arm in that thing. We've got Chris Harrison is currently sitting in 8th. Jester, also another early stop. He is in 9th. Dustin Barton is cruising around in 10th. Ben Dewberry is in 11th. Jason Benson lost 5 spots through that pit cycle. He's back to 12th. And there is our YouTube chat favorite, Michael Corriveau. He is running in lucky 13th in front of the Nodge Dodge. And then we've got Joseph David cranking up 15th. I think we have pretty well all but lost Kenny Sutherland. He just never seemed to really get going today.
I just noticed something very off topic here, but currently we have in 8th place we have Harrison, and in 9th place we have Barton. So Harrison Barton.
Well, but that's Burton.
Harrison Barton.
Yeah, but Harrison Burton is who you're referencing.
No, I mean, I'm just looking at 8th and 9th here. It's Harrison Barton.
Well, but now it's Harrison Barton Benson. That sounds like some sort of legal team. Friends, have you been injured in a motorcycle accident while snowmobiling on a 3rd Tuesday of last month? You need to call your friends at Harrison Barton Benson.
Harrison Barton Benson bail bonds.
I was going to throw that in there. I was kind of hoping you were going to give me a testimonial like, Harrison Barton Benson got me $400,000 because I fell over at the grocery store on purpose.
I successfully sued my last employer for sexually harassing my cat.
Oh, that is a big problem nowadays. Cats really do need legal counsel. But you can get a lot of money for slipping and falling in the store.
Might be a plan in that. Might take a trip over to my local Lidl's.
This is another age group thing. That was literally a line from Friday. Canadian, which one? And certain someone here in the chat just says, "Come on, Canadian boy." There's 3 of them. There is 3, right?
There's not. He's missing an S. I mean, Corey's like.
He's half.
I don't know.
He's both.
He's a seasonal Canadian.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got seasonal Canadian disorder.
Don't tread on me, eh?
Yeah. Then we got Parasini and Dustin Barton. So yeah, we got 3.
No, the Lone Star, eh? Don't tread on me. What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm just thinking of the. Yeah.
The both. We got a case of the boths. The faster Canadian boy. Well, so that's Piracini, I guess, because he's the one running second. I don't know that I've ever heard Kreidler talk, so who knows where he's from. I wonder if we can ferret that out. We're going to go on here. We're going to hit this. Where is he from? Oh, sir, that now decidedly not Canadian.
We'll do some investigation for you.
Yeah. Oh no, it said South Carolina on there. Well, we're quickly getting into what may be the worst broadcast ever, Kyle. We got Hyde is 4.6 seconds ahead of Piracini, so What have we been out now? 12 laps, and Piercini has cut that gap close enough in half. I mean, that you can call it half, right?
Yeah, cutting it in half, he's sitting about 9 seconds behind. But the thing is here is it's not a steady kind of thing where he's going to progressively get faster and closer to Roy here. It's at what point do they sort of equal out, or not even equal out, but where does the advantage for Pericini start to decline? And hopefully that for Pericini's sake, he doesn't have it happen like before. Hopefully he does have it happen where he can eclipse Roy Hyde before Roy makes a pit stop here.
Well, and he'll pass him, you know. I mean, of course, you know, car sitting on the pits. I mean, everybody's going to go by you. But the problem is he's going to come back out and be upwards of 2.5 seconds a lap faster. And, you know, on a 30-second lap, I mean, you're talking, you know, 12, 15 laps. And, you know, they're already right back on your back bumper to go back by you.
Yeah, it just all depends on, you know, how fast and how much the tires you can keep on it throughout a run, and then, you know, when you pit. So it's just one of those things where even if, you know, he's got a bit of a lead right now and it's, you know, closing up over these last couple laps, you know, that, you talk about comers and goers, you know, Pericini can be coming on fast here to Hyde, but, you know, Kreidler, you know, he could all of a sudden kind of pull the rabbit out of the hat and go by Pericini here because Pericini's been burning his stuff up, or maybe Roy has been slightly hiding some of his pace here.
Well, we're under 3 seconds in closing. If you're watching the tower, it is just dropping and dropping, and you know, he's already gained another couple of tenths. It's there. You actually could see Hyde in that shot coming down the back straight there. We're 2.5 seconds. I mean, you know, we're looking at almost 3/4 second gain here on the 24, gaining on that 305.
I need to take a break. I smell something burning. That's not good.
Well, you probably should go take care of that. But while Kyle's going to go play fireman, we're going to watch Matt Pericini here, who's 2.3 seconds in closing in on your leader, Roy Hyde. Going to jump over here on Hyde and just kind of take a peek-see off the back. And this is pretty close to what he'd be looking at out of the rear view mirror. Of course, depending on settings, so you can widen them out and shorten them up. But he's got his serial number of his fighter plane there, and we've now cracked this under 2 seconds. There was another 0.4 of a second. That is a gigantic speed difference on the track. And here Roy, keeping gas all the way around, lost another 1/10 there. Just can almost hear the Jaws music in the background. But it is feathering it through 3 and 4. Oh, there's a problem. When you got to get out of the gas, you want to get out of the gas into the corner, not off the corner. Real simple reason why. When you're off the corner, you need to be on the gas so you're going faster. I know that sounds dumb, but that's exactly what you're trying to do. You need to be off, getting into the corner, so you can be on the power and accelerating as you're coming up off the corner down that straightaway. And so if we're getting, there was a blip from Pericini. If his internet goes out, oh man, we're going to be able to hear him scream from coast to coast. But if Roy's having to feather on the back half of that corner, that is absolutely going to affect the speed as Pericini's getting, actually, we're watching that tower. Roy's entry into the corner appears to be a little better, but it doesn't look like he can hit the gas quite as hard from the center off as Pericini can. You can see him gain a little bit as he goes in. You know, gets another couple of hundredths, but like middle of the corner off, you know, here comes Pericini, who's able to knock almost a 1/10 out of it. Yeah, there he hits a 1/10.
Yeah, Pericini's doing a really good job here closing in, but like I said, it's starting to equalize a little bit. Those very big, you know, gaps that he was able to close up, you know, over the run is starting to become very marginal. So whenever Roy decides to pit here, it might force Pericini to pit early to kind of cover off Roy, because if Roy was able to undercut and be able to hold that lead as well as he has, that might be a threat here for Pericini. So you might see some strategy changing here out of Pericini, or or maybe even some strategy change here out of Roy Hyde. Just kind of an interesting development here as we see Parasini cut it within a half second.
We've got, oh man, Ollie is right there. Ollie is all over Kreidler like a cheap shirt. Man, we need side by side for this. Piracini is doing the same thing. We've got battles for first and third.
Yeah, Parasini should make easy work here of Roy. As Roy is able to hold it a little bit around the outside, he kind of makes Parasini hold it kind of narrow off the corner, but Parasini's clear.
Yep, we're going to kind of switch back and forth on these, so getting a little jumping. Yeah, Piracini is around, and he's going to go ahead and make some gains. We'll jump back here and watch Kreidler trying to hold off Ollie. See what we get.
Yeah, we got about a 3-lap difference in tires here between Kreidler and Oliver, but yeah, Oliver doing a really good job to keep the tires underneath him, and with that 3-lap difference, he should be able to get by Kreidler here. Not as big as the tire difference between Parasini and Roy here, but definitely a positive difference here for Oliver.
Yeah, and here's the gap. I mean, it's already out almost to a full second from Piracini back to Roy.
Oliver looks low.
Yeah, it looks like he gone. So Oliver going to take third position away from John Kreidler. Just hitting halfway here. Well, no, wait. I can't do math. That's 130. Oh, yeah. Right. We're hitting halfway. We have got a Al Corey coming down pit road. So we're going to be coming back to pits. We've got Jester and Corey who are both back on. And I mean, that is halfway, I guess. The lap 66 would have been. So we are past halfway, but now you've got 64 laps. You're going to need to finish out this tank of fuel and stop again. So got the Koravu machine rolling on around, and he is hanging out in 9th position right now. Just looks like well, you see that wiggle. It looks like a nice, casual, easy Monday night stroll, and it is anything but. These cars are slipping and sliding. The back end's trying to come around on you. I mean, they are just foul-natured beasts.
Yeah, and I mean, the major thing here is you just have to drive it, like, conservatively. You can't be just pushing, because if you push, it's all fun and games, but just having that patience to just not nail the throttle every lap coming out of the corner is, it's the thing that's going to win your race here. But, yeah, as we see Oliver closing in on Roy here, battle for the championship heats up between the two of them. Got a, 20-ish point gap between the two going into Daytona next weekend, and then we have Richmond and Homestead followed up by that. So, interesting little development here for the championship.
And see if Oliver should be able to do this pretty easily. And he does.
Yeah, the thing is Roy pitted the earliest out of everyone here. So he should have potentially pitted a lap or two ago as we see Kreidler coming on pit road. So I think we should be seeing Roy pit soon.
Yeah, he's he's still running 4th, so it's not, or I'm 3rd, sorry. He's, not like he's falling off a cliff or nothing, but, I mean, he's losing time to now the leader in 2nd place, which, incidentally, 2nd place needs to be in front of him for the bigger picture here if he wants to try and gain some points on him. But, even on that token, finishing 2nd, if Roy turned around and finished 3rd behind you, I mean, you've gained 3 points. I mean, that's not sustainable. You're going to have a bigger gap than that.
Well, like I've always said, it's you have any sort of gain on anybody. You just got to do what you can do. You can't kind of focus on these, what if situations. But as we see Roy Hyde pitting here, if you finish ahead of him, that's something you're just going to hang your cap on because, those fractional gains might get you close. And especially going into Daytona next weekend, we should see some crazy, crazy stuff. Maybe a huge point swing here, maybe one way to the positive of Roy or one way to the positive of Oliver, or we might see someone like Benson or Corey get a massive points boost with those two wrecking out of the race.
Yep, and Benson has absolutely, and him and Barton both, thanks to 12 million practice laps, have really got very good at plate racing. On the broadcast on Fox yesterday, the slingshot's back, the slingshot's back. We never lost it with the ARCA cars. That's honestly one of my favorite things to do. Is there's a certain spot you can get at, and you kind of need a couple cars sitting in the right spot to do it. But if you can get it, I mean, man, it's like getting 150 horsepower on everybody else. And, man, there's just nothing more fun than coming up on everybody 25 mile an hour faster and coming out towards the wall and just blowing by all of them. That's just, that's one of the things these cars do. We'll harp this to death next week, but you can't bump draft with them. All you're going to do is turn the guy in front of you. Me and Sid have practiced that, God, I don't know how many times. And, I mean, we could get it, literally the only two cars on the track being us. We could do it, but we would end up turning each other. The third or fourth lap of trying it, you can't line up that perfect every single time. And, the end result is complete disaster. And it's completely, like, the polar opposite of as Sid's coming in, actually. Atlanta is Daytona
as well, at Corville.
Got all the plate
Got a whole
tracks.
bunch of drivers here coming into the pit road.
Feeding time at the zoo.
Oh, Nodge, no. Oh, Nodge just spun and hit the inside wall. Yeah, we got a
heavy damage.
Yeah, newcomer Ben Dewberry on the pit road. We've got Nodge. We've got the 26 of Joe DeVete.
Oh, yeah.
David.
Nodge is definitely. I'm telling you, DeVete sounds so much fancier. Here comes Kreidler around. He's got the freshies. He is going by, Oliver like it was his job. That was a poor choice of words. But yeah, we're cycling through. Everybody's heading back out. Still got the Nodge, which, boy, I don't know if he would think to turn on that fast repair for that, but that'd be a good time to make sure you had that sucker on before you hit your pit box. That's also a helpful hint for you at home, kids. Make sure that thing is on or off before you get to your pit box, because if it's off and you hit your pit box, you're making a lap to come back in to get your fast repair. Rob Hottenbach is coming in.
Sid Kashishian got a black flag into that pit stop, so he had some sort of issue there.
And that is something that SDK just doesn't show us. That would be pretty helpful. We could get a box to show up for. And then Piracini comes to pit road.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if I could see how much of an incident that was for Nodge, if it was a 1X, a 0X, or if it was a 4X, and just popped it up, and the flag next to Kashishian was black, so he had some sort of black flag, maybe for an unsafe entry, or maybe an unsafe exit, kind of getting too antsy on the throttle, leaving the pit road. Maybe commitment line violation. That caught me out in the 87s last Tuesday.
Well, yeah, and slick track, slick pit road entry. That's absolutely reasonable. Almost get to the point where just through all the racing, and we've been talking a lot with the No Toad Racing League on the Discord that you practice. That's come up of practicing more makes you faster, makes you better. Versus doing this for fun, blah 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 blah. All the arguing back and forth we've been doing with that. Not really arguing, but we've just been discussing these things. During the race, I mean, that's still a kind of an accelerated form of practice. You're practicing what you're doing by learning the muscle memory of what you're trying to do, but also we always pit during our races, and so we do something that the publics don't, and honestly a lot of people who don't do longer races can't do. If I had somebody who all they've ever done is Publix for the 2 years, they come in and run this race with us, they're going to wreck going into the pits. That's a very underappreciated talent that the Toads have is being able to come on and off a pit road. And this pit road is absolutely one of the worst. It is super slick. It's like they dumped 5 buckets of sand down. And when you leave that pit, getting back up to speed is almost like they've dumped 20 quarts of butter on the ground. They're just, man, I mean, is there a worse pit road?
Yeah, I think there's a couple other ones that are pretty bad, but out of the ovals that people typically go to, I think, especially for the 1.5 miles, this might be one of the harder ones. I think like tracks like Kentucky and maybe Las Vegas kind of have like hard pit entrances where it's just kind of a sharp angle, but yeah, green flag pit stops. It's something you don't see often in a lot of public races. I've had one public race that I can remember at Texas where we did a green flag pit stop, but outside of that, I can't remember it. I'd be stretching my memory here trying to think of one. But yeah, I mean, just those green flag pit stops, that's something that I came here in my first race with the Sunday series where we were still doing the ARCA cars. And on the first green flag pit stop, I had too much front brake and locked it up and slid into the grass at a 3rd place. So yeah, just it's one of the things you just got to practice. And you know, we have a 45-minute practice, you know, before these races. It's not like a public where you get whatever time before you register to come in. So you've got enough time to kind of hit all your boxes and do maybe even a full fuel run and kind of look at your tire wear and see what you need to work on. But yeah, just practice. That's the one thing. You know, the second you stop racing as much as some of these other guys that you see coming to these series and just do really, really good is just reps. Just kind of constantly racing. So.
Yep. A lot of the discussion was of, you know, single car, you know, being able to go out and turn laps versus doing it around other cars. And I am very much one of them. I can go out and hit marks, but as far as then trying to figure out how to drive further into the corner, stuff like that, I can't do it on my own. I've got to have stuff around me. I can't, like, I can get behind somebody and fixate on, you know, whatever, a tail light or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm running a half a second faster than I ever have at a place. You put me back there on my own where I'm trying to find a spot to let off and turn in, I'm pretty well lost. But it, like I say, it's just been a kind of a ongoing discussion with the group of that, and you know, just the fact that all the races that we've run, you know, Sarge had actually said that of, you know, he's run 231 races without, you know, he said he hadn't lost them. He's had that much practice, and I mean, that's 231 races worth of practice. I mean, God, imagine doing that a single car. Oof.
Yeah, we had a race that came up for it was a Landon Huffman. It's like $2,000 to win, and I had entered that, put in my $25 entry fee, and ended up doing about I ended up doing, I think, 325 practice laps around Richmond in a super late model all by myself, and did absolutely nothing for me when it came to the race.
Yeah, I totally get that. It just don't have anything anywhere near, and that blip, I don't know, Kyle, did you lose everybody on track? I'm just going to assume that was just me.
No, but I did see one driver kind of blip off. It wasn't somebody that you had previously mentioned, so yeah, just something with iRacing might be yeah, if everyone's still there, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Well, we being in the sticks as I am, we got a little bit of weather here. I've got the northern end of that system that's down over Rafter, but so far so good. But I guess if we just go away out of nowhere, that's what happened. But iRacing seems like after this update, I've noticed a couple weird kind of glitchy things. So I think it's probably nothing, but just be aware there.
So coming down here to the end of the race, this is where things are going to get really, really interesting here with the drivers we currently have. We have Kreidler out front. who pitted on lap 70 with Roy Hyde right behind him, who pitted on lap 72. So we are going to have an interesting thing here where we have not an easy final stint here. I don't think there's a single person out there that's going to be able to stretch it to the end on fuel. I think we're going to see one more stop, but the problem is that you're probably about 6 or 7 laps away from the finish. So do you pit early for those tires? Do you pit in the middle? Do you take 2? Do you not take any tires and you do a splash and go at the very, very end of the race? Do you just keep going until it's empty, or do you just try to save all that fuel? So it's just a crazy all over the place strategy here, and we might see a shock person all of a sudden pop up at the front of the field where you're just going to be like, wow, where did they come from?
Well, and I mean, that's realistically, we're coming around to lap 92 of 132, which is 40 to go. Anybody stops from this lap on, they're good. They're going to get to the end, but you're exactly right. Being good as far as being able to make it versus being good as in, I've got everything I need, as far as tires and fuel. That's two different things. I personally think just the general green flag look of this, somebody may very well end up overshooting the injury. But I have been one that, I will complain when I see it fit. As Jester is on pit road, he's going to take that early stop. If something looks bad to me, I'll say something. This track on iRacing is really, really, really bad about throwing cautions for single car stuff. So if somebody messes up here, there's honestly a 50-50 shot whether or not they get a yellow thrown for them. So they may end up just not doing anything. They may end up just sitting there in the grass spinning their wheels without a caution.
Yeah, it looks like Will Jester here. He's been on an interesting strategy here. I think he pitted super early. Yeah, he pitted about 32 laps in. So as he stopped, there's an issue that happened there. I don't know what that was. He towed. Oh, he just disconnected.
Yeah, I was going to say he just went gray. While we're discussing him, we've got another new leader, John Kreidler.
Yeah, Kreidler with that undercut 2 laps earlier than Roy. Royed a lot earlier than Pericini, but Oliver Turin sitting 7.7 seconds back. He went to lap 81 when he pitted, whereas Matt Pericini pitted on lap 78. So they have 3 laps different tires. So I would say Oliver's sitting in a really, really good position here, especially with the tire difference we see between Kreidler, Hyde, and Pericini. So we're going to see kind of a bunching up here from Turin to Kreidler. It's just who comes out on top and who does the best job of managing the tires they have versus the competition.
Yep, and we'll wait to flip through the field here until once we get everybody sorted out on this last set of pit stops. But going into it, Kreidler's running first here. Then we got Hyde. Then we got Pericini running third. Turan, Corey still running fifth. Hottenbox in sixth. Benson's running seventh. Coravu is eighth. Harrison ninth. Barton in 10th. And Dewberry running 11th. David's in 12th. The Nodge is in 13th. Sid is 14th. And, it appears we have now lost Jester, so there's just the baker's dozen on the field. Or on the track. I guess they're really probably not running around the grass. That wouldn't be a great plan.
Well, we got a nice little rally course in the infield that we could do.
I thought about lying when we started the broadcast and tell everybody that's what we were getting ready to do.
Oh, I'd be down. I'd move my monitor. I'd do the race.
I've done it on trucks. It's fun.
We did a King of the Hill, which is another one of their series we have here in the in No Toad Racing League. I think it's one of the underappreciated series, in my opinion. But
absolutely,
yeah, we did rallycross with the Volkswagen Beetles in the infield, and I won the first 2 races, but we had a half second difference between me and John Campbell, with John Campbell coming out on top for the win. Just an awesome awesome battle there with JC.
Yeah, no, we use the Gander trucks, but yeah, I totally agree. King of the Hill is, I mean, just as far as fun, and I mean, it all ends. I mean, sim or not, this is a game. We're not out here sweating death in a race car, and hell, I don't think my belly'd fit in the window. Truth matter be known, but King of the Hill may be the most fun thing that we've got. They're shorter races, they're heats, goofy, weird stuff. John Barton, the other of the Barton Brothers bail bondsman, that one's his baby. But they're fun and goofy, and get to do awkward stuff. As Al Corey is going to make his final pit stop.
As Parasini gets by Roy Hyde here, I'd be interested to see if we see Roy kind of realize the position he's in and kind of pit early and force the hand of the other guys here. Not early as in pit like now, but maybe in the next 10 laps or so, kind of pit, try to get that undercut.
Yep. Those three letters, that's get kind of confused of Corey and Koravu. I've about 3 times said no Koravu came in, but we gotta look at the big screen here. So yeah, no, that is Al Corey coming in, so he's good to go with 32 laps to go on his tires. Should have a little bit less fuel load. No point in taking a full tank and sitting there when you don't need a full tank to get to the end. But that, I guess there's something to that too. I mean, you're gonna sit there for 4 tires, so you're gonna be able to take that much fuel anyway.
4 tires. That's the thing. Later in the race, are you gonna sit there for 4 tires?
Yes. These things are terrible drivers on right sides only.
Well, is it going to be worth those 7 seconds, to put those left sides on, with the fuel you take? It could be a crazy strategy call here by somebody to just kind of throw caution into the wind here, and potentially try to do that. Like you said, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be stupid, but I wouldn't put it past anybody to try to throw it that Hail Mary and, maybe only lose a position or 2.
Well, but you're still going to have to come down pit road. Even if you did fuel only, you're going to need a tank, so you're talking 7 seconds of fuel. So you're losing 7 seconds. 4 tires, we already know, is worth 2.5 seconds. That's only like 4 laps. And they're going to be by you. I mean, they're going to be by you plus a few seconds. I don't think it's worth it unless you're going to stop with like 10 to go.
Yeah, and even if you pit 10 to go, do you take the tire? Because the thing is, you pit late, like...
No, you come down 10 to go, you're right. You put fuel in it and you just go.
I just think it's a little too nuanced to really know what every individual here is thinking, because I think everyone's going to have their own separate approach here, and that's what, might see somebody come out on top.
Kreidler is on pit road.
Yep, he's going to be the early biter here. He's going to do the 29 laps here. More than likely, this early, he's going to take the 4 tires. It's just, what does Parasini, Hyde, and Turin do? And if a caution comes out, Kreidler has used up all his tires, so he is sitting in a really, really bad position.
I'm going to watch Kreidler here. Let's make sure the left sides go up, and there it goes. Yep, 4 tires for the 99. Oh, Hottenbach, Harrison, Kreidler, Hyde. There's 27 to go, and there is 4 cars on pit road.
Yeah, so Roy going for that undercut here.
Yep, and
he didn't pit too long ago.
Hottenbach, Harrison are both heading out. Hyde is in his pit box. Looks like the left, yeah, so left sides are down, so it looks like 4 tires to go there. Boy, old familiar Oliver Turan sitting there in the lead, who went further. So in theory, he's got the best tires. Al Corey jumped to the pits. And Corey came back on track, went off track. Okay, so Rafter had an off track. Oh, yeah, Rafter was right side into the wall. Right front's broke off of it. Around it went. Well, I didn't pick him, I guess. But Turan is running first. Kreidler is blowing by him, showing us the difference in that tire speed. And, you know, honestly, Oliver slowed him up more than I thought he was going to be able to.
And speaking of Al, here he is.
Good day, eh?
Well, hello there, part-time Canadian. Kind of a inauspicious ending there. What happened?
Yeah, I got looking at my black boxes and hit the wall and did some pretty bad damage to the car.
Oh. Well, since you're not in there, what was the final strategy there for that last pit stop?
Yeah, I was just trying to undercut everybody every pit stop, which I was doing, and making up some good time. I felt good about a top 5, maybe 6 at the end, considering that I fell all the way back to 14th after the contact in the first lap. I was going to be happy with that.
Yeah, we saw that. I mean, I'm assuming when you came in, you used the fast repair, right?
Yeah, the problem was I had to go a full fuel run with the damaged car, and I dropped back to 14th.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's kind of what we had thought about as we were watching it. Look, I mean, you know, these cars are so sensitive on that right side, and it just doesn't take much of a hit. But what we didn't really catch a good look of is what led up to you getting into the wall. Was it somebody kind of drift out and you tried to avoid him?
Are you talking about the lap 1 with Oliver?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he got in front of me and, he was behind me, and I think he just tapped my back bumper and put me into the wall.
Which, you know, we were actually talking about that in Daytona. These cars do not appreciate that at all.
So Al, what do you think is a good strategy here? We had an interesting little, fuel strategy here with, only those 3 sets of tires. So what do you think is the play here? What do you think's the more logical fuel strategy?
Well, at one point I was thinking about trying to do it in 2 stops instead of 3. I took a look at that, and I didn't think that was possible. So I think a lot of people are on the same strategy, which is they're pitting about now, right, with 30 to go or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a foregone conclusion as far as the leaders go, unless you've got somebody who made it on 2 stops, which I don't know if there's anybody in the field who could do that.
Yeah, nobody's been able to stretch it that first run, so we're all sitting here, but it's kind of a toss-up, kind of what's going on this final stint. You know, whether you go long or whether you go short and go long and hope there's a caution, or go short and hope there isn't one.
I don't see any cautions coming, and honestly, any chance you get to undercut somebody in front of you at this point, I'd do it, because you're 2 seconds off your pace after 15 laps. So once you've used those 15 laps up, you might as well undercut and try to get the advantage on the tires. That's what I was doing.
All right, we got Oliver Turn coming on the pit road here.
Well, I'll duck out. See you later, guys.
Okay, thanks, Raptor. Now we've got Ollie coming down pit road here. And once again, the dog is horribly upset about it. We're going to watch and see if he does do 4:20 to go. He'll break the line to hit it to 19. So he's going to be in while they're working on Raptor's car there. Right side should go up. All right, so we're going to at least get right sides on it. And see if the virtual team goes around and pops up the left side. No, right sides only. Gassing away for Oliver. He's back to 5th. So now with all the lookings at of different tires, are 2 fresh tires going to be enough to come up and catch Benson, who just inherited the lead?
Benson looks like he needs to pit here, at least from my understanding. So I think for Oliver, it's more of a case of just kind of surviving, and hopefully those 2 tires aren't too loose for him or too tight, depending on what the handling is. He's behind Hyde and Parasini and Kreidler, so he's got to catch and pass those guys, but with 40 lap old left side tires. So this is going to be interesting here to just kind of see what pace wise he's able to do. And if there's a caution, at least he's got lap size to put on it, but that's not very, very hard, especially if you haven't practiced with 2 tires.
Sid and Benson were the last 2 to come in. Both are now on pit road. So we'll take a look at this one and see if Benson pops up both sides. Take it around. Okay, right side's up. Let's sit that down. Left side's up, so Benson's going for 4 as John Kreidler has re-inherited his lead.
Yeah, so Kreidler pitting on lap 103. We got Hyde behind him, who pitted on lap 104. So that's not too much of a difference here. So I would expect Kreidler to be able to potentially come out, you know, and hold off Hyde. But the issue is Parasini, he pitted on 105. So, you know, there's not much of a difference between these top 3. So this should be pretty interesting here.
Yeah, Parasini's closing in a little bit. He's got it about 55 hundredths of a second. Sid's gonna take them new tires and run around Kreidler to get his lap back. All right, so as we get on down through here, so we've got John Kreidler running there, running in the lead. We're going to jump back into second. We got Roy Hyde, which, you know, points. He's running second, and everybody else behind him. Just good points day for him. Piracini is about 7/10 back, who's going to do everything he can to try and get up there and try and grab some points. Oliver is sitting here in 4th, and I mean, realistically, without a caution, Ollie's running 4th. I mean, that is where he is.
Well, he gained about 4/10 of a second that last lap on the leaders as he knocked it down even a bit more there. So I don't think it's completely over for him yet. 4/10 of a second, that's a lot of time to ask to gain, but he did gain time there. So if there's some sort of kerfuffle up front, he might be able to catch back up. But like you said, more than likely 4th place is secure for Ollie.
Yeah, that's still, you only got 13 and a half laps now. Hottenbach running in 5th. That is a great run for him. Barton, Dustin, the Slurm Mobile, is another 11 seconds back in 6th. Benson on back is a lap down. So they're harassing these guys trying to get around him. Ben Dewberry is also trying to run down Piracini. Mike Corvu is 9th and a lap down, and Sid is rounding out the top 10 a lap down. And he's just passing the notch. Harrison, his pit strategy, I think, come up and bit him. He just kind of got back there where he qualified. Joseph David is rounding out here with 13th position. I'm going to pop back up here on the leader and let this thing play out. We are coming around to 12 to go. Kreidler still at a just over 3-second and shrinking lead over Roy Hyde, and a 2/10 behind him, Matt Piracini, who is the fastest car on the track right at the moment. I have these guys popped up here. We've got the back 2 there. That's Benson and Dewberry. Those guys are, they're lap down, so they're just going to be kind of hanging and rolling here, which is exactly what they're going to do.
I'd expect Benson to maybe try to get a pass here, because if he gets back on the lead lap here and there's a caution, he's sitting pretty with the tire difference he's got. So if I was him, I'd be trying to pass the 24 and the 305 as we got Parasini looking the inside of Roy Hyde here.
Watch them guys. There's Piracini off the side of Roy Hyde's car. Maybe a dogfight down the dog legs. And that's one thing with Atlanta pretty much the whole way around, is you've pretty well always got the high side for momentum.
Yeah, but also you have a pretty good a bottom, especially in 3 and 4, that you can use as well. So it's fairly balanced, but that outside lane pretty much in any track, if you can run that just as good as the guy on the inside, as we might know, we are not going to go 3 wide there. We got Roy Hyde being able to hold him on the outside here of Parasini.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make a battle out of it.
Yeah, this is going to aid Kreidler, even though they're gaining on him slightly, they could be gaining a lot more, especially if one of these guys can pass the other.
Yeah, somebody needs to make a business decision here and be like, all right, this isn't going to work. But then again, I mean, like I said, they're both gaining on the leader doing this. And this is another nicety of Atlanta. So Roy's going to be the worst end of the deal there as Piercini goes rolling on by. You can see the leader up there in turn 1 and 2. Well, Benson had an injury, man. Like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, he's got fresher tires, so he can kind of push the issue here. He needs to get by these leaders here just in case he, gets a caution. I know Lucky Dog is nice and all, but, if you're able to get back on that lead lap, proper, you're going to be sitting pretty.
Yeah, Benson is definitely making speed. So, I mean, realistically, he's got third to maybe second car speed. It's just pit strategy, just managed to catch him down. Because Roy's trying the high line, and he is fading fast.
All right, we're coming to 5 to go here. Be interesting to see how close Piercini is able to gain this lap, and if he's even in conversation here of catching Kreidler.
He's really kind of stalling out about 2.5 seconds back. I've been kind of.
Oh no, Kreidler connection drop due to packet loss. No.
Oh, he did.
Hyde as well.
Hyde is showing still on the track to me.
Everyone, there's some sort of connection issue. People are complaining about people complaining.
People complain about people complaining. Wow. So, boy, just like we've said, mechanical gremlins just take somebody out of nowhere. Kreidler running in the lead.
This looks like a potential iRacing issue. I wouldn't put this up to individual problems.
Well, but regardless, you just never know when something's going to go wrong. Out of nowhere, gone, disconnected, handing the lead off to Matt Piercini, ironically, who has been known to have connection issues. But man, that is.
Hey, race isn't over yet. You never know. We might have some more iRacing tomfoolery here.
This should be 4 to go with the 24. Wow. And, Hyde somehow is now being scored 2 seconds back, but in 9th. And what is going on? And there now it just showed he's back on pit road. So, yeah, he got blipped into the pits. He is just now leaving. So that's going to lose him time. He's down 11 positions from where he started. This, as they say, changes everything. Because now we've got Roy Hyde 2 laps down, 12th, out of business. Oliver Turan is now 2nd. So big point stay there. You've got Benson running in 5th, which, granted lap down, but still 5th place is 5th place.
Well,
That's
Benson's
a big
looking on the
points
inside here, Piercini.
Oh, I mean, that's still going to keep him in 5th. There's no, if there's a caution, he's getting the lucky dog. I mean, there isn't anything other than just pride here for Benson to really need to have to push by Piercini.
Well, no, I mean, if you get that lucky dog, you're going to get starting at the end of the field. So you're going to get that end of line. If you get on the lead lap here, you're going to be sitting pretty in 5th place on track. So getting that lucky dog puts him in a position of, if there is a caution, he's going to be sitting in 5th place with the best tires.
Does he have a full set left?
No, he's the last person to pit, so he's got fresher tires than everyone else. But anyways, Piercini coming here for the white flag. 9.7 gap over Oliver Turn. It's a shame that we've had some sort of iRacing issue happen there to kind of shuffle up the order, but Piercini working hard there for the win, and looks like he's going to come home with it. White flag.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe Kreidler had some sort of storm issue. I mean, there's a system up the whole middle of the country. Yeah, that is.
No, we had when that happened, we had a couple drivers come over the radio and say that there was a problem where everyone disappeared, so it was a multiple driver issue. So I would put that fully on iRacing, not on individuals.
That's something we'll never know. But Matt Piercini Why, what that surprise winner. But the winner of the Sid's Atlanta 950 miler from the good Atlanta. That is just wow. Just wow.
A win's a win.
Yep.
You know, you win the race. He put himself in the position to win. He could have catch Kreidler there. Not 100% sure, but he still won the race. So good job by Pericini. It's just a shame about what happened to Kreidler and Hyde there. So
Pericini, you gonna do us some donuts here, and we might ride along top with you. How do you explain that one? Matt, do you hear us up in the ARCA booth? Well, we may have other issues going here.
we do have Oliver in the booth.
Yep, he unmuted himself. Ollie, how you doing? How'd that turn out for you?
Oh, man. Not too bad with the second place, but not the way I'd prefer to get that second place. Shame to see two of the leaders disconnect like that. Feel bad for those guys, but good points day for me, I guess.
Yep, that's what he was saying. Was that's a good points day for you, and it's also a really bad points day for Roy Hyde. That's one I don't think we've seen a whole lot. Roy, what happened?
Yeah, just coming out of turn 4, I cut her right front. I had to go down to the pits. I have debris or something out there. I have no idea.
Oh, well, it kind of looked like it blipped you from what we were seeing. So we thought you had a connection issue because Kreidler, who was leading, just disappeared. And the next thing we saw, you're off track too.
Oh, yeah, it was a connection issue. I just play it off as I got a flat tire and I had to come in for it, so I lost 2 laps. Kind of got to just take it as it goes for racing. That's one of those things, I guess.
Yep, very good. All right, well, that's why I was trying to blame that we had parts failure or something on the 99. But yeah, that is just.
Can y'all hear me, Coop?
Just wild. Rob, I think we can hear you. We can hear you if you can hear us.
Is it repeated the last time? Oh, he left the Discord. Matt, are you here?
Have you got me now?
Yeah, we got you, man. Second place there. You were closing in on Kreidler there. Unsure or not if you were going to be able to catch him, but you still came out the winner. Unfortunately, it was under the vise of connection issues, but a win's still a win. What did you see there coming in those final laps?
Well, I felt like I had the best car on the long run. But I'll tell you what, it was sure fun when you're racing with John Kreidler and Roy Hyde, which are probably 2 of our best drivers in the league. And being able to compete with them and be competitive was pretty fun. I guess I'm owed one from yesterday because I had to disconnect yesterday in the Xfinity race that cost me a good finish in that race. So I'll take the win today for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely got wild at the end there. Got Rob. See if we can get you unmuted and talk to you here for a sec too, if you can.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Yep, we've got you if you've got us. No, and he's back to mute.
Yeah, it seems like we have some sort of technical issue with him again. It seems like he just can't hear us, but we can hear him.
Yep, that's bad. Well, a very odd ending, and everything sorts out. So we'll see what we get for next week. Is boy, points are going to be shaken up, and that's I probably kind of jinxed Roy because I said that they're going to need you to have something happen to you for anybody to really get in and have a shot, and there went that. So I will take the blame for that. But till next week, from beautiful scenic downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, this is the No Toad Racing Network. We are signing off.
you got, buddy? T1 right there.